In the ancient lands of the East, there lived a young man. Though handsome, honest, and hard-working, he was an orphan and lived in deep poverty. As time went on, he fell in love with a beautiful girl from his village, but he did not have the means to marry her. After much thought, he gathered his courage and went to the wealthiest landowner in the village. "Sir," he said, "I wish to marry, to protect myself from the wrongdoings of the world. Please lend me the money, and I will make you a promise. If I cannot repay you in time, I will pull your plow myself in place of your oxen." The landowner, a pragmatic man, was intrigued by this strange offer and agreed. The young man married the girl he loved, and for a time he felt like the richest man on earth. Their small home was filled with love, if not with wealth. He worked tirelessly, throwing himself into any job he could find, from sunrise to sunset, hoping to save enough to repay the landlord. But life for a new family was hard. Every coin he earned was spent on their simple needs. And as the deadline approached, he realized with a heavy heart he would not be able to keep his promise. After a year of hard work, the time came to repay the debt, but the young man had saved nothing. True to his word, he went before the landowner. "Sir," he said with humble determination, "I could not bring you the money, but I am ready to fulfill my promise." And so, the man who was once a hopeful groom now became an ox. He pulled the heavy plow under the scorching sun, his body aching, but his honor intact. One day, the wise traveler passed by and saw this unbelievable sight. Filled with rage at what he thought was a cruel injustice, he galloped towards the landowner. "Have you no shame, old man, to make a human do the work of an animal?" he demanded. The landowner simply shrugged and said, "Ask him yourself." The traveler turned to the young man. "What is this state you are in, my son?" And the young man, wiping the sweat from his brow, looked at him with calm, clear eyes and said, "This is temporary. This too shall pass." The traveler was stunned into silence. He looked at the young man not as a victim, but as a sage. Moved by his incredible honor and unshakable faith, the traveler reached into his saddlebag, pulled out a heavy purse filled with gold coins, and gave it to the young man. "A man of your character does not belong in a harness," the traveler said. "Pay your debt. Build a life for yourself." And with that, the traveler continued on his journey, the young man's profound words echoing in his mind. The wise traveler, moved by the young man's honor, gave him a purse heavy with gold. With this gift, the young man's life was transformed. He first paid off his debt, freeing himself from his vow. Then, with the remaining money and his own relentless hard work, he built a beautiful home, bought fertile land, and raised livestock and a lush garden. In a short time, he became one of the most prosperous men in the village. His wisdom and fairness earned him the respect of all, and soon the villagers chose him as their leader. One day, the traveler returned. He saw the man, now a respected leader, sitting peacefully on his veranda. "I see life has been very good to you," the traveler said with a smile. "Yesterday, you were an ox. Today, you are a great man. Your life is now settled and complete." "This is true," he replied, looking at his vast lands with the same calm eyes. "But I am not overjoyed, for I know this too is temporary. This too shall pass." The traveler, once again amazed by this unshakable wisdom, simply wished him well and continued. And for a time, life was good. But the winds of fate are ever changing, and soon they began to blow with a terrible fury. A storm of unimaginable power descended upon the village. A great flood swept away the man's home, his lands, his livestock. Everything he had built with his own hands was washed away in a single night. The man who was yesterday the richest was today the poorest once again. But even in the face of this utter ruin, he did not despair. He gathered what was most precious to him, his family, and prepared to walk the path of fate once more.